Okay, so I just wanted to speak briefly on some animal totem medicine. So, a few days ago, was it Friday or Saturday? I believe it was Friday. Anyway, I went to the thrift store a couple days ago, and I'm recording this on Monday. So I believe it was Friday when I went to the thrift, and when I went up to pay for I forgot whatever it was I was getting, and when I was at the register, I looked straight up. In front of me was a painting on the wall of a huge sea otter. A huge painting of a sea otter, like mostly like blue and white hues. And yeah, so it was an otter in the water, kind of just with its, mainly just like its face kind of looking like right at me. It was this huge painting of sea otter, and it was like the perfect position. When I was up at the register, it was just dead on straight right in front of me. And it made me think of when I did a report in grade school on the sea otter. And so whenever I'm kind of in the shamanistic vibe, if you will, when nature's communicating with me, I'll try to telepathically, intuitively gain whatever information, insights, whatever they're trying to communicate with me, and then I'll let that kind of sit with me for a while, see what comes naturally, and then I'll go look it up. And there's a couple really good, I'll put it in the description box too, and I'll just mention them really quick. But and so then you can get even deeper insight into the animal, and if you're not aware of its, like, it's natural, like scientific, behaviors and stuff, that can give you a lot of insight. Just looking up the animal itself is a science website without even doing the animal totem. You can get insight that way. Apply it to the spiritual realm or aspect. So I was getting, like, I remember they were very playful, they were very crafty. They would put a rock on their belly, float on their back, and have a rock on their belly and crack the bivalves, the shellfish, hard shell on there, and so they would have to crack it against a rock, and they would have that rock on their, on their sternum, on their belly, and they would be floating in the water and eat their, their shellfish like that. So they're very like playful, family-oriented with their young. They're very interactive with their young, very playful. I was getting playful, I was getting crafty, I was getting family-oriented. They're kind of just open and out there and doing their thing, very like a lighthearted. They're not hiding. They're not like a scaredy cat kind of an animal. They're very much out there doing their thing and having fun. And so then when I looked it up, it's very divine, feminine, loyalty energy. According to one website is really good. It's called Wolf Creek Arts, and it's interesting because Butterfly Wolf was what I was calling myself when I was going through this transformation. I thought I had lupus, and that means wolf, and then the butterfly is a symbol because of the malar rash you can get across the bridge of your nose that is indicative of lupus. And because I didn't know what it was, and I was just like, I'm just the butterfly wolf, it's transformation and then stratification. So the butterfly transforms, and then the wolf strategizes. So Wolf Creek, there's a creek, Wolf Creek, right near where I live, and the wolf is very much one of my totem animals too. And so, and I'll put the link in the description box. You could just click on there. There will be two. The first one is Wolf Creek wolfcreekarts.com, all one word, wolfcreekarts.com. And then you have to, if you just type in totem animal medicine, it'll come up, but that's kind of far down the page. The first one that pops up usually, if you just put in totem animal, you'll get shamanicjourney.com. That's a pretty good one. A lot of good information on there. But the Wolf Creek Arts really goes into the authentic Native American description of just the medicine wheel, all kinds of aspects. So that they really go into depth into the really like authentic Native American stuff. So Wolf Creek Arts is really good for that if you really want to get into the authentic Native American story and aspects of the animals and stuff. And then shamanicjourney.com. That might be shamanic-journey.com. I'm not sure, but if you just type in Shamanic Journey, it'll bring you to that website. And so I got the otter, okay, the sea otter, and then today's Monday, so this I believe was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. My neighbor, who I shared my twin flame harvest cake with, and it was his birthday the day before my nephew's. It was July 13th, and he's a Cancer. So I shared it with my neighbor and gave him like half the cake, and so him and his friend enjoyed that. And they gave me a rosemary plant, and then another one that at first, like, I felt the energy of it. I was like, I know this plant, but it kind of threw me off because the one that the 4 o'clock bush that I had in front of my house as a child had all different colors all over it. So it was like every different color. So, and then there's certain ones that are just one color. This one happened to be like a plum burgundy, kind of a plum colored blossom. But then as I looked closer, I'm like, I knew the leaves, I knew that bush, I knew those, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a 4 o'clock bush. Okay, so synchronistically, right before I went up there, because I was watching Husky Light, yeah, and and I was gonna watch it later, but for whatever reason, I just watched a little bit of it and then ran up, and because they texted me to come get the plant, because there's stairs and I didn't want her to like carry stuff down and all. So I watched just a couple minutes of Husky Light's most recent, I think it was the weekly Power Angels reading, and she was talking about how she had a synchronicity with bees about, with the Leo King or something, someone she was watching who was talking about bees, and then she got stung in the neck by a bee. Unfortunately. But, fortunately, if all the Native American medicine, that is a good thing. So, then, and I've been stung by a bee once and a hornet twice. I think a yellow jacket I stepped on, that was a yellow jacket. So I've been stung a few times. So the bee synchronicity, okay, so she's talking about bees, and then I go upstairs, and one of the 2 plants that they gifted to me is the 4 o'clock bush. And the story with the 4 o'clock bush with me was when we had just moved to this new house that had a big hedge out in the front, and it was a really mature, grown-in 4 o'clock bush that was like a wall. It was like a hedge, okay? And it had all different colored 4 o'clocks. It's a type of a flower, a hedge, blossoming hedge, bush, whatever. And at the time I didn't know what bees were. I had never had an experience with them, never been stung. I didn't know the name of it. But I knew what wings were, I knew what stripes were, I knew what furry was, and so I saw this little creature on one of the blossoms. It's during the day, I'm playing in you know, on the sidewalk, whatever, and I'm looking at the flowers, and I noticed this little thing on there, and it has wings, and it looks so delicate, you know, like a little fairy, little striped, little fuzzy, little cute bear little thing, like a, you know, but it was a bee, okay, but I didn't know what a bee was, never had seen one. All I saw was this tiny, delicate little thing that had stripes on it that was all fuzzy and furry, and I just wanted to touch it like you naturally want to touch something that looks soft, like a kitty cat or something, right? So, you know, and I'm only 2 or 3 years old, so I have tiny little fingers, you know. And I was very gentle at a very young age, and maybe just being a girl too, I don't know, but I reached in very slowly, gently, and ever so gently petted this bee's thorax or whatever, its body that's all furry and striped, and it just sat there and let me stroke it a few times, and then I was, oh, okay, you know. And later when and it didn't do anything, didn't sting me, didn't fly away, it just did its thing, and I mean, I just petted it, and then I was like, okay, I petted it a few times, and I was done. And later I was talking to my mom, and I said, what are those things out there on the bush? And she goes, oh, the flowers, they're called 4 o'clocks, they're all different colors and stuff. I'm like, no, not the flowers, because I knew what flowers were. I'm like, no, not flowers. It has like wings and little stripes, it's like furry, and it's got little wings and little stripes. And she's like, a bee? And I'm like, oh, is that what it's called? Oh, okay, they're called bees. And then it was like, you know, oh, don't pet them, you could get stung, and then the bee dies, and you know, so all this stuff. So there was no fear at that point, because I didn't even know what it was. So to be watching the thing about Husky Light and her bee synchronicity, and then I go upstairs, and it made me think of, you know, my bee. Whenever I think of bee medicine, that it brings me all the way back to that story when I was just 2 or 3 years old in the 4 o'clock bush. And so that plant itself is very, it's like one of my totem plants. I guess you can have totem plants too. I haven't looked that up, but I'm assuming. So this gift from my neighbor was a 4 o'clock, little, you know, in a little 1 gallon or whatever, a small little one, and it just was like a synchronicity, okay, because I was just watching that video with Husky Light, and then it made me think of that, and then made me think of the 4 o'clock bush, and then they give me a 4 o'clock bush. Out of everything it could have been, right, so that was amazing. And so that was just a little synchronicity. So bee medicine, otter medicine, and there was a commercial, I think, called Kubo, or so, I don't know, it's an animated, my phone automatically just pressed something and this commercial came on, okay, and it's like this Japanese kid, you know, young kid, and it's an animated movie, and I think it's called Kubo, I'm not sure, I think it's Kubo, like Kubo, Kubo, anyway. I'm like, well, I guess I need to watch this commercial because the angels pressed it and everything, and then it was, you know, the Japanese, always that Japanese stuff really resonates with me. I must have had a past life there after Atlantis, whatever, so everything Japanese, whenever I find something, it's like the style of it, the style of all my stuff has some kind of Japanese aesthetic quality to it. So just that fact alone, and then what they were saying, and you can watch that trailer yourself if I'm saying the title of the movie right, but it must be one that's brand new, because it was an advertisement that I just saw, you know, on YouTube just the other day. So it says your powers are getting stronger. And then it said something, you know, because the master is like talking to the kid, your powers are getting stronger, okay? And then something about it's a new time or a new place or a new earth, a new world or something like that. So, and how that relates to the bee medicine and the otter medicine is the bee medicine is, and if you think of a bee, they're very industrious, they're cooperative, They communicate extremely well. They're for a cause, the greater good. They work in peace. They work in harmony. They serve the divine feminine, the queen, and the otter medicine represents the divine feminine. And then the loyalty, the playfulness, the love, the lightheartedness. So, the powers of the divine feminine, she's really coming into knowing really what divine feminine actually means, the creative force and the magical, mysterious manifestation. So how amazingly instantaneous it can be when you're in your heart space and you're in the flow of that divine feminine, male or female. Okay, just remember, divine feminine is within all of us. So the divine feminine is really coming into, it's almost like it has a masculine intensity to it, but that is the true divine feminine. It is very intense, but very lighthearted, playful, soft, flowy at the same time. And then just a few, I did a reading for myself and I put all the cards away, and I'll do one for the new moon. I'm working on the monthlies for the zodiac sign, so I wanted to just update some synchronicities and how that's playing out, synchronizing with other people and how that's playing out energetically. So little bit of a shamanic venture there. And then just to point out the readings I used 2 different decks, did one reading right after the other, did the same layout. Crowning for in between both twins was the 4 of Wands on both readings, okay? Same position, crowning in between both twins, both readings. So that's telling me that the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and then all the powers behind the scenes that are of the white light unified rainbow, of course, are guiding this, protecting it, promoting it, and facilitating it. And when I do my own readings, I usually I go through the deck, and because usually it tells me a whole story. So there was 3 10s in a row. This is just the most significant. Okay, so the 4 of Wands, okay, the happy home. We want the foundation, the family, the happy home, the good life, right? And everyone's supporting that. Divine feminine, divine masculine, and all the powers that be, all the benevolence, okay, are supporting this. And there were 3 10s in a row in the harmonious deck, in the deck, not in the layout, but 3 10s in a row. Okay, 10 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles, and then 10 of Cups. And then in the Shadowscapes deck, we also had the 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles next to each other in a row. So it's like all this hard work has come to its natural end. Okay, 10 of Swords is a natural end of things. It can be a spiritual death, a physical death. It's just the natural end of something. And you're trading it in, and because it was both 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. I mean, this had the 10 of Cups after, but it's like you're trading in all this hard work that you did with the 10 of Swords. You're trading those in for the 10 of Pentacles. So God, your angels, they've seen all the hard work, not just the hard work, but all the anguish that it's caused you. They see, okay? But they're here to let you know that it's over now, and you're cashing in. It's like at Chuck E. Cheese, when you cash in your tickets, you did all that hard work, right? And you're just letting the tickets like come out, come out, come out. You're not even ripping them off. You're just like, yeah, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And until you run out of coins or whatever, right? And then you take that big, long string of tickets up to and you get like one little plastic little pencil or something. But I mean, but it's like you did all that hard work, okay? Now you have all your tickets. That's what the Ten of Swords is. It's like all your Chuck E. Cheese tickets. Like, you did all that hard work. You dispensed all your coins. You're depleted, but you got all your tickets now to go cash in, okay? And that's your Ten of Pentacles. So, and that's something tangible. So it doesn't necessarily mean money, okay? But it's something in the 3D worldly plane down here, tangible in your hand, okay, that you can see. And remember, everything tangible has a spiritual aspect to it and vice versa. So you're seeing now how it's all paid off for you, okay? Because, and I'll share sometime a poem that I wrote about how it's not all for naught, okay? Overthink, overthought, overwrit, overwrite, it keeps going, okay? So it's not all for naught, okay? All this hard work, you know, it's duality. You can't do all this hard work and then just get, you know, shitstorm after shitstorm. That's not natural and spiritual law. It has to be balanced and harmonized. That's duality. So all this hard work and anguish, it's not all for naught. And just know that when you're going through it, that it's going to pay off for you, but you have to stay on the path of faith. And so those tens, very significant. And in the Shadowscapes deck, we had the Ace of Cups right next to the Ace of Wands. Okay? So that's kind of like what I'm saying, like when the divine feminine is in their heart space, okay, that's being the divine feminine, male, female, it doesn't matter. When you're in your heart space, that's the divine feminine, okay? Your head, your rational, that's the divine masculine. But when you're in your heart space, you're thinking clearly, you're doing clearly, you're being clearly, okay? And with that comes a lot of power. This Ace of Wands, that initiation of creation, progression, onward and upwardness, okay? But it comes from being this Ace of Cups and being in your heart space, okay? Because this is being in your heart space, the Ace of Cups, that's the beginning point for anything else good to actually manifest and happen in your life. So in order to get the Ace of Wands, get anything started and going, you have to be love. You have to be love. Okay? My son's supposed to be taking a nap and he hears me talking and now he's like, let me out of here. No, we're doing routine nap time. Oh my gosh, my double Leo son, and we're coming into Leo. He has been, if he doesn't get his treats, he'll start. Oh, we won't even go into that. He's being very defiant, uncooperative lately, but we're putting things into place. Patricia McNeely said, you know, the kids are going to act out too. They're preparing for Union L. So, whew, I mean, this kid, if he doesn't get what he wants, he'll start messing with the lamp and dingling the little thing on the lamp, and he knows he's not supposed to touch the lamp right in front of me. Okay, he'll start pulling the heater vents out of the floor. Okay, he'll start messing with the blinds. He'll take the little door stoppers out of the wall. I mean, this kid, ooh, double Leo sun and rising. Oh my goodness. Anyway, he's a beautiful crystal, rainbow, indigo, whatever you want to call it. But he's a double Leo, and let me tell you, he is double Leo to a T. So, I have to be very strict with, like, what time we eat, go to bed, what time nap time is. If he starts acting out, it's automatic, you know, because he will push me with his Leo will until I give in. And we've already done that, and I've taken all I can take. So, if you hear him sometimes when I'm doing readings, it's like, yeah, he's supposed to be doing nap time, and he's trying to get out. He's like bouncing all over everything in there. There's nothing even in there. That's why he has to start turning the heater vents out into, oh my god. Anyway, so any of you out there who are single moms, I'm trying to heal and all that stuff at the same time. Maybe you can kind of understand what I'm going through. So, yeah, working on the monthlies. Those are still coming out. And I will be doing a new moon reading probably when I get done with, well, I'll post all the monthlies for the zodiac first, and then I'll post the one for the new moon. So I don't know, when I feel called to do the new moon reading, I'll do it, but I like to keep all the monthlies in one stream chunk and not have it broken up with you know, having a twin flame one in between the signs or whatever, just so it's easy to find. And that's why I put usually all the same picture on there and everything. So those are coming. Still working on those. Those will be up soon. And then be on the lookout for the new moon reading. And I look in the description box below. I'll put the web addresses for the two shamanic websites that I think are really good, really helpful. And just whenever a plant grabs your attention, or an animal, even insects. Insects are some of the most powerful totem animals. Okay, so, and you may not see them in real life. They may come to you in a dream, a thought, a vision. You may hear a call and know it's a certain, like a bird, but you can't see it. You know, like I know the falcon call, I know the crested blue call, I know blue jays because those things squawk like crows, so I know when it's a blue jay. So, you know, whenever nature is trying to communicate with you, go into that shamanic zone where you're just receiving the messages that that plant wants to tell you, or that animal wants to tell you, and then go look it up. So just kind of get your own intuitive idea, and then also what you know scientifically about that animal. That also helps give you spiritual insight as to, you know, how that applies and why that animal or plant is coming to you right now. So yeah, so that's what I usually do. Give myself at least 5 minutes to just do that intuitively, and then go look it up. And yeah, so wolfcreekarts.com and shamanicjourney.com. They'll be in the description box below, like I said. And so Otter, sea otter in particular, and bee medicine, and wasp is a very interesting one in particular to look up. So wasp, and the way they make their nests and everything is very interesting. So okay, so look forward to the monthlies coming out for the zodiac signs and the new moon reading as soon as I get all those the monthlies posted. So alright guys, blessings to all, and have beautiful shamanic journeys this summer. It's time to get out and about, right? So I think that's going to be happening for a lot of us right now, especially the divine energy, divine feminine energy, really getting intense right now. So it feels good. I'm feeling much better. I feel like other people we kind of got over this moon, and we're feeling better too. So love you all, blessings to all, and until next time.